Research. Just saying the word can kind of make you feel stressed out, right? Overwhelmed, even. But what if I told you we could boil the whole thing down to just 4 essential skills? Well, in this explainer, we're going to break down a method that does exactly that. So, does this look familiar? You've got a project, you open a few tabs, then a few more, and pretty soon you're just drowning in a sea of information. You're actually more confused than when you started. It's that classic research maze. But hey, here's the good news. We're about to turn that tangled mess into a super clear, straight path. The source material we're looking at today gives us a real map, designed to turn all that confusion into confidence. Okay, so here it is. This is your map. It's built on 4 really fundamental skills that'll guide you from start to finish. First step, master your search. Then, read and note effectively. After that, you've got to question your sources. And finally, keep a paper trail. So let's kick things off with that first step. All right, here we go. Part 1, mastering your search. Now, you got to think of this as the foundation for your entire project. I mean, it's not just about finding any old information, it's about finding the right information and doing it efficiently. So what are these tools we're talking about? Our source calls them exploration tools, which honestly I think is the perfect name for them. They're your personal guides, the search engines, the academic databases, the library catalogs, all the things that are basically gateways to the info you need. And these tools, they pretty much live in 2 main places, the good old library and of course the giant sprawling internet. The source makes a really key point here. The secret isn't just knowing these places exist. Nope, it's about learning how to navigate them like a pro. That's what makes the difference between a frustrating search and a really effective one. Okay, so you've found your materials. Awesome. Now we're moving on to part 2, effective reading and notes. This is where the real work and the real magic begins. Finding stuff is one thing, but turning all that raw data into actual knowledge, that's the game changer. And that brings us to something our source says is totally non-negotiable. You have to take notes. Seriously, it's essential. It doesn't matter if you're holding a physical book or staring at a website. The simple act of writing stuff down is what helps you actually think about the ideas, keep track of everything, and start seeing those aha connections between different sources. And all that thinking leads us right into a really crucial skill. Part 3, questioning your sources. This is the part where you stop being just a passive consumer of information and you become an active critical thinker. It's all about developing a healthy dose of skepticism and, checking the quality of everything you find. So the very first step in checking out any source is to figure out what you're even looking at. As you can see here, it really boils down to a simple question. Is this a fact, something you can actually check and verify? Or is it an opinion, someone's belief or judgment? According to our source, getting this difference down is absolutely fundamental. And check this out. This is a fantastic way to put that into practice. Think of it like a little quality control filter for all the info you find. As you're reading, you just ask yourself these questions. First, truth and accuracy. Is this fact actually true? Do I even agree with this opinion? Then, author and trust. Can I really trust this person or this website? And finally, the big one, usefulness. Is this information even useful for my project? And that kind of critical thinking flows perfectly into our final skill, part 4, keeping a paper trail. Now, this might just sound like being organized, but it's way, way deeper than that. This is about being honest and giving credit where credit is due. Our source really hits the nail on the head with this quote. You do not own the information you read. Just let that sink in for a second. It's a core principle of all research, right? We're always building on the work of others, and it's our job to acknowledge that. So why does this matter so much? Well, this slide breaks down all the practical reasons. For one, you're giving credit to the original writer. Super important. 2, it lets you easily find that source again later. 3, it saves you a massive headache when you have to build a bibliography. Trust me on that one. And finally, it gives your own arguments the evidence they need to be strong and credible. Okay, so let's bring this all home. The big takeaway here is that when you put these 4 skills together, mastering your search, taking great notes, questioning your sources, and keeping that paper trail, you're not just learning tricks, you're building a complete system. You officially have the map to go from feeling overwhelmed to feeling totally empowered. At the end of the day, it's all about working smarter, not harder. The whole point of this 4-step process is to make your research life easier, way less stressful, and a lot more successful. This is your toolkit for pretty much any project you'll ever take on. So that's where we'll leave it.
You now have the map, you have the toolkit, you're ready to tackle any research challenge that comes your way. The only real question left is, what are you going to go discover?